Welcome to know and Awaken Your Soul's Unlimited Potential. My name is Eva, and as always, I'm so happy to have you here with me. And today, I want to share something that I've noticed that is happening so much in the world right now, and it's really concerning me, and it's gotten me to a place where I'm just so tired. And basically, it's regarding the judgment and the hatred and the anger that I see all around the world. I mean, on social media, right? On the TV, like everywhere. It's so much anger and hatred towards other people. And judgment, especially, judgment is what really concerns me because it's gotten to a point where, certain groups feel that they're so justified to hate on the other groups because of their beliefs or because of how they were born or where they were born. And, I was really reflecting on this, and I realized that we as humans, we've done this circus for millennia, right? It's always two groups of people, right? There are the ones in power and the ones who are getting discriminated. It's always been like that for so many millennia, right? And it gets to a point where the people who have been discriminated against realize that they want the rights, the equal rights as these people in power. So they start fighting for their rights. And the fight will happen sometimes. We've gone to war over this, over our beliefs, right? So many people have died until we get to a point where both sides decide to sit down and ask for peace and decide to give each other equal rights. But that usually doesn't last for long because it gets to a point where the people who are being discriminated against, now that they have a voice, now that they're feeling seen and valued and heard and all of that, now they become power hungry. Now they want all the power. Now they want all the resources and all of that. And then now it becomes a tipping of power where now they were down, now they become up, and the people who are up come down. And we've been doing that for centuries, right? Always the same thing. And it's happening right now where people are, I mean, look at the current war on race, right? Look at the current war on gender. It's basically both sides fighting for their equal rights. The one side that has been discriminated for such a long time are realizing now that we want our equal rights. We want to find our place in society. And now it's causing so much strife. But here's the thing, right? Most of the time, it's usually not equality that they're fighting for. Or maybe they think they're fighting for that, but essentially that's not what we end up getting because the minute the other side is given an equal opportunity, now they become power hungry and they now want to be above the other. And my question is, why does it have to be a win-lose situation? Why does one person have to be above for the other person to feel like they've done something? I really don't understand that because especially with the work that I do with soul realignment work, where I take you back to your past lives and we get to discuss your soul story and all that, I realize that we choose our experiences. Like your soul chose the gender, chose the country, chose the family, chose all the experiences that you're currently having right now. You chose that experience because your soul felt that this set of circumstances were the best to help you evolve and grow as a soul and learn the lessons that you needed to learn. Had you been born elsewhere, you might never have learned that lesson. Of course, no one ever chooses, like when you're looking at it from an egoic perspective, no one ever chooses to want to be born in strife. No one wants to be born in an angry face. In a country faced with so much adversity. No one wants to be born into situations that are so adverse, right? Like you're poor, you don't have food, probably your physical health, physical well-being is affected. No one ever wants that. But there's a reason why your soul chose that difficult experience. It didn't choose that by mistake. It chose that because it realized that if we go through this lesson, if we go through this particular set of circumstances right now, we're going to learn this lesson. And because of that, that choice was worth it for the soul. If we were all to be born in our happy society, right, where all of our needs, all of our desires were being met, for so many of us, we will never learn the lessons that we needed to learn. Like, think about it. When you come from a place where you have everything, right? You've never known lack in your life, right? At what point, and maybe someone now comes and tells you that, there are people going through hunger who are facing such an difficult situation and blah blah blah, like you won't be able to understand that situation because it's not something that you've ever had to experience yourself. So for you to even put yourself in that place, to have love and compassion for that person, it will be so difficult because you've never gone through that. But the minute you go through that, the minute you go through that difficult experience, and now you're faced with that, with now being on this other side where everything now is being met, and now someone is telling you about how people are suffering, now you have a deeper understanding as to what difficulty is. If you were born into a situation where all your needs have been met, there will be no reason for your soul to evolve, because everything will be there for you. I mean, look at it this way, right? When you look at certain rich people in society who, or people, let's look at the children who are born into rich families. Some of them, right, they've never known lack in their life. What do they normally do when all their needs are met? Because their soul is so bored, they really don't have any motivation to go through certain experiences. Now they start going to seek those thrills. But what usually happens when they're seeking those thrills, they don't do it in a positive and constructive way. Most of it is destructive. That's where you're gonna end up finding them getting addicted to drugs, to sex, to alcohol, to all of that, because they are so bored. Your soul gets bored when you have all your needs and all your desires met. It craves new experiences, and for some of us, for some souls, the new experiences can only come when you go through certain challenges. So if you're born into that kind of a situation right now, you're going through a difficult moment, there's a reason why you are there. Okay, that didn't happen by mistake. There's a reason why you chose that, in order to help you grow and evolve. Okay. The other thing is that the same way that you chose that experience, you could have just as easily chosen another experience, right? So it doesn't mean that that other person is doing way better because they were born with a silver spoon in their mouth compared to you. No, that is not what that means. Because the same way you chose maybe to be born into a poor family, your soul could have as easily chosen that experience. But it chose this poor experience because you needed to learn a certain lesson. And that rich person, or the soul that was born into the rich family, chose that experience because there's a particular lesson that they could have only learned in that family. None of those situations, none of them is better than the other. We're all evolving, we're all growing as souls. No experience is better than the other. All of them are equally the same, which is what a lot of people don't get. The other thing I love to highlight is that at what point then do you start judging the other person for being wrong about their chosen path? Because quite frankly, if you don't know the reason why their soul chose that experience, what right do you have to sit down and start passing your own judgment towards this other person? I get that there is so much need to call out certain wrongs that are happening in society. So that is not what I'm talking about. If something is going against what something is actually impacting on the livelihood or the well-being of another person, by all means speak out against it. Because if you don't speak out against it, if you choose to be silent, you deny that other person the chance to actually grow and evolve, because maybe they're not in a place for them to learn the lessons that they need to learn. They're not tapped into that consciousness yet, but you're already tapped into that. And by you voicing out that what you're doing is wrong, it might actually help them snap out of their current situation they're in and actually start following a better path. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you start looking at this other person as being wrong for living their life the way they live. They're not impacting you in any way, kind of way. They're just living their life. They're not doing anything that impacts on your well-being or how you live your life or how you eat and all that. They're not doing anything about that. But just because they exist or they have certain beliefs, your ego feels disturbed by that, and then now you decide to pass judgment on that. And my message to you will be, why do you think that you're more important than that other person? Why do you think that? Why do you feel the need to want to change this other person and have them conform to your own beliefs? If you are all having the same kind of experiences, the world will be such a boring place.
even if we go to the afterlife and all of us have had the same experiences, like what new thing will be contributed there? There will be nothing. We will all be stagnant if we are all having the same experiences. There's a reason why we choose different paths and different difficulties, right? There's a reason why we're placed in so many different circumstances and so many different situations, because our own individual perspective is so informative. There's so much information that can be gathered on our soul's chosen path. But the minute now you, with your ego, decide that your path is wrong, that is where the problem starts happening. Because there's nothing wrong with the path, their chosen path. They're learning their lessons. And basically, it's not your business to change them. It is literally not your business to actually try and change someone else. It is that person's soul, higher self, guides, universe, that person's relationship with their higher self, with their higher guidance. That is your purpose, to change this person's chosen path. If at all they are wrong, it is not your role to go and change this person based on your own beliefs. It's not your role, and you really need to get out of that egoic kind of perspective of I'm right and you're wrong. No, there's nothing wrong with what they're going through. If they're wrong, they'll discover it on their own. That's how I want you to look at it. And again, we've done the whole anger thing for such a long time. We've judged, we've hated, we've done all that, and it has not served us at all. It really hasn't. If anything, we've just created so much drama for ourselves. And I choose to believe that we can live in a world where all our rights are being met. We can't all be the same, but there are things that I can bring to the table that you can never bring in a million years, because that's what I'm inherently gifted at. And the things that you can bring to the table that I could never do in a million years. And if we choose to look at it like that, that's how now the equality starts coming in, where I respect your path, I respect your views, I see the value in your views, in your beliefs and all that, and you respect mine also. Then can we learn to coexist? And it is possible. I believe it's completely possible, because again, what I can do, you can't do, and what you can do, I can't do. If it was that way, then there would be no need for any of us to be here, because one person could do everything, right? But there's a reason why we're all here and living the experiences that we're currently having. So just have love and compassion and understanding for the people around you. Don't be so pulled into the world of judgment. The other thing I realize is that our ego has a brilliant way of distracting us from the lessons that we need to learn, because it loves keeping us in our own little prison, our own little box, our own little comfort zone, because it hates change so much, right? So it will always bring about situations and distractions to keep you in that box. And for people who don't have awareness, they're gonna spend the rest of their life focused so much on what's happening in the external world, and forgetting to connect with themselves, to connect with their souls, to connect with, why did I choose this experience? Why did I choose this incarnation? What lessons was I here to learn? So it's easier for me to focus on what other people are doing, rather than deal with myself, rather than face myself and face the new actions that I know I need to take, but I don't want to take. So all of that, if you're so focused on what's happening in the external world that you actually forget your internal connection, look at it as your ego's way of distracting you from the actions that you need to take to change your life. And the only way to do that is to shut it all out. I mean, I've started doing that. Like, I'll admit it, like, there is a point that I was so addicted to watching certain social media channels, because I love hearing both sides of the arguments, and yeah, it was fun for me, but it got to a point where it got so exhausting, because it was literally draining my energy just to listen to the judgment. So I can't take that any longer. So for you, if that is where you're currently addicted, like, shut it off. Go inside, reconnect with yourself, reconnect with your soul's purpose, your path. What lessons are you here to learn? And start taking action in your life. And you'll find that the minute you start focusing on yourself, all this drama that's happening in the outside world will just stop mattering to you so much. You won't be so overly invested in what is going on in other people's lives. You won't be so overly irritated when someone does something wrong to you, because you're so focused on your individual path that you don't even see all the wrong that's around you, that might actually irritate your well-being. So I'm gonna end that video here. Comment down below if you agree, if you resonate with anything that I've said. I hope you do. If you don't, let me know down below. I'm always curious to hear your perspective on this, and I would love to hear from you. And just to say thank you so much for tuning in. If you're currently struggling with that connection with your inner self, if you're struggling with the connection or to your soul and listening to your higher guidance, and you'd like some help with that, I have prepared a beautiful quantum flow meditation. I've done quantum flow for so many years, and I can tell you that quantum flow literally changed my life. Like, I am not the same person. Each and every day, each and every practice I do, there's always something shifting inside of me, and this is the gift that I want to give to you. So if you're struggling with your emotional and mental well-being, maybe facing a bit of stress and anxiety, make sure that you download my quantum flow meditation for free. I've prepared for you. Just to say thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, for tuning in and watching this video thus far. You can get the link to download the video down below in the description box, and I hope you do get to enjoy it, and I do hope that actually helps you tap into higher vibrations of being and helps you reconnect with your true nature, your soul, right? And I always end my videos by sharing how I can actually help you tap into the lessons that your soul came here to learn. Remember what you actually came here to resolve, because there's a reason why you're here. And a lot of people, with the lack of this knowledge, the lack of awareness of why their souls are here, they get easily distracted with the outside world. So if you would love to know your particular soul story, what negative karma did your soul come here to resolve, you can discover that with the modality I work with, which is soul realignment, which is based on reading your Akashic records. So you can actually uncover who your soul was originally created to be. What unique gifts, what unique talents do you have to bring to the table? Because each of us is individually gifted in our own way. We all have our own unique abilities. So if maybe you haven't connected with yours, maybe you don't know what makes you special, you don't know what makes you you, what value actually contribute wherever you are, and you like to reconnect and to remember those gifts, you can discover that with a soul realignment reading. You can actually discover where your soul is originally from, because not everyone who's here originally incarnated on this planet. Like, some of us have lived lives elsewhere before choosing a physical experience on earth. So if you like to know your particular soul group and the characteristics and the gifts of that particular soul group that you can still leverage to create your human experience, you can uncover that with the soul realignment reading. The other thing is that you actually get to get specific measurements of where you currently are vibrationally. Where is your consciousness? Which dimension are you tapped into? Where are you getting your guidance from? If you'd like to know which dimension you're tapped into, you can get those specific measurements with the soul realignment reading. Then fourth thing that you get to uncover is your particular soul story, which is always my favorite part of the reading, where you get to go back to one particular lifetime that your soul started making negative choices that are still affecting you currently. Because there's no point of you having all this information and it doesn't actually impact your daily well-being. It doesn't change your day-to-day action. So what happens is that you discover your soul story, the negative choices that you made in that lifetime that are still affecting you currently, and basically get to know what new actions, what new choices you can make on a day-to-day basis to tap out of this karmic circle that you've created for yourself. So if you love to know that your particular soul story, you can uncover that with a soul realignment reading. The last thing is that you get to energetically heal, clear all of these blocks and restriction, all this negative karma from your soul blueprint. And by doing that, you're able to tap into more vital force energy to help you create a better human experience for yourself, so that you stop attracting all of these experiences and all of these people who actually don't serve your highest state of being. So if you're curious about that, you can connect with me down below, Facebook, Instagram, send me any questions that you might have. Or if you're curious and you'd love to learn more and you have more questions, you can book a discovery call with me in the description box. Connect with me and hopefully I will get to see you on the other side. The second modality I do work with is called quantum flow. So quantum flow is all about biohacking your nervous system. Okay, it's about releasing all the traumas, all the wounds that are still stuck in your nervous system, which are blocking the flow of energy inside of your body, blocking your manifestation, causing you to attract certain experiences that are mostly painful for so many people. So if you're so tired of always experiencing the same kind of pain that maybe you struggled with since childhood, if you're tired of that, because all of that is still recorded in your nervous system, you can actually get to break this trauma down, break all this crystallization that's formed in your nervous system down, get the energy flowing again, get your chakras healed and released, and get all these blockages in your chakras out, and get the energy flowing again, and get the energy back into your vibration, right? And get you attracting now people and situations that serve your highest well-being. So if you're curious about that and you love again to learn more, you can book a discovery call to learn more, or connect with me on Facebook and Instagram. The links to all of that is down below in the description box. And if again you haven't subscribed to my channel and you do like the kind of content I share out here, make sure that you subscribe, and also click on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any content I share out here. For now, I'm sending you so much love, and I hope I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.